Alright guys, I got another video for you. This video is going to be about CodeQuest and solving CodeQuest, CyberQuest. I don't know what they call it. They change everything and confuse me. But anyway, this video is going to be about CodeQuest's a problem called Pennies Add Up. It's problem number 3. Alright, so I'll give you a brief rundown of how this problem works, and then we're going to go ahead and solve it together. Okay, so how this problem works is you have words that they're going to give you in a set. The first set here is you've got 2 numbers, then you got some words, 4 words right here. The first number here is going to be the value of the letter A, and basically what you're doing is each letter has a value set by this first number, and then you're going to add up the value of the entire word. And then when you figure out the value of the word, you're looking for a word that's worth $1 or 100 cents. And if you find a word that's worth $1 or 100 cents, then you're going to print out that it is the winner. The number, so out of this set of words, the winner was the word problems, and on the last one, the winner was, or on this next set of words, the winner is 7. So how the points are calculated, this first number is the value of A. So A in this scenario is worth 1. That means, and then you would add, so then B would be worth 2, C would be worth 3, D would be worth 4, and it just keeps going like that, all the way up to Z, which will be worth 26. Alright, now in this next problem, A is actually worth 7. So you're going to count all the way up to whatever letter lands on 26, and then when you go to the next letter, you're not going to go to 27. You're going to start back over at the value of 1. So the total value, cents for each set it never gets higher than 26. So the way they word it is a line containing 2 positive integer values separated by spaces, a value of the letter A in cents. This value is between 1 and 26, and basically that's how they do that. All right, we're gonna. I think they explained it a little bit better here. If you want to read that, I'll read it. Your program will be given a list of words with the value of the letter A in cents. Each successive letter in the alphabet will be worth 1 more cent than the with a maximum of 26. The letter after the one worth 26 will wrap back around and be worth a single cent. For example, if A is 5, then B will be worth 6, and C will be worth 7, so on until V, which is 26, and W will be worth 1 cent. Okay, so hopefully I can make this a little bit more clear when I start to actually solve this thing. Alright, let's get started. I've already typed out some of this because I was recording a second ago and something messed up. So I'm going to not retype it. I'll just show it to you and I'll explain it to you as I'm going. So first thing I did was I grabbed the first set of words here and I stored it into a list called set1. And then I grabbed the next one and I stored it into a list called set2. The value of A is that first one right there, that first number, and for each set. So in set 1, A is worth 1, and in set 2, A is worth 7. Alright, I'm going to make, I put both sets into a data package, and I'm going to loop through each data package and show you what it looks like. So I said for data in data package. That means go up here to this set of data or this list and print out each set. So if I run that, why are you offline? If I run that, oh my goodness. Let me see if I refresh this. Alright, connected. Okay, so if I run this, you get the 2 sets of data, with the first one being the value of A, and then after that you have the words. Alright, our next step is to, I don't know, you can go several different directions. Maybe I should write some comments here. I'm going to do something like I'm going to check each letter of a word and compare the value to a list or a chart, maybe. I will add up each letter to see if it reaches 100. If it reaches 100, I will have found the winner. Alright. Another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to set up my chart. I need to set up a chart to work with the given values. If I think of some more stuff, I'll type it here. So let me tackle one of these. Let's start by making a chart that deals with the given values. I'm going to start with the regular 1, where it starts at 1, and I'm actually going to use a dictionary for this one to give you guys some new things to learn. Let's learn about dictionary. So let's say value chart is equal to, and then I'm going to use these funny little square brackets. Okay, this is a dictionary. How does a dictionary work? A dictionary works with keys and values, and they look like this. So I have some dictionary, and then I have a key, and I have, well, I guess I should use this curly brace. I have a dictionary, and it's broken into keys and values like this. Now with a list, the way a list works is lists work. Let's see. Lists work similarly. So lists work similarly, except for their the key. Let's see. However, the keys are always the address, and the value is, or the value can be whatever. All right, so you're probably like, what are you talking about? Well, on this one, the key can be a integer, it can be a float, and it can be even it can even be a word, a string, and we're actually going to use strings for our keys. Okay. All right, Mr. Evans, what the heck are you talking about? All right, here we go. Let me just do it, and I'll show you. So A, that one, the value of this key is going to start out. So our key is A. That's how we find it. This would be like the address in a list. So, and the value of this one, I'm going to say it's 1 to start with. All right. Then the next one, the key is going to be B, and the value for this one is going to be 2. And then the next one is going to be C with the value of 3. And I'm gonna keep going like this until I get to Z, and I'm gonna pause this so you don't have to watch me type it all. Okay, finally finished typing it out. Okay, so you can see I have all my keys A through Z, and then I have my my values 1 through 26. That corresponds to this 1 here. Now, if I was going to make a chart for 7, I would start with 7, count all the way up to wherever it hits 26, and then start back over at 1, finishing up. All right. We're going to just use this current list. We'll get it working first with this guy here. All right. We'll do set 1. We'll start. Let's make our we got our chart. It doesn't oops, what is this? It does not actually change with the given value yet, but we'll do that here in just a moment. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one. It says we need to check each letter and compare it with the value chart. Well, first off, we need to get each word so then we can look at each letter. So we're grabbing first things first here. This one is a number, and we'll say. So what we're going to do is we'll look at let's look at each word one at a time first. So we'll say I'm going to put a loop inside of a loop. This is going to be a nested loop. So I'll say for word in data, and then let's just print each word. So print word. All right. So this first set of data, it has a 1 for the very first thing, but let me actually, I'm going to put input right here so I can make it where it pauses every time I run this. So I'll hit run. It's going to look through each, so the first thing it found was 1, which is this first set of data, and I'll press enter so go to the next one. The next one is first, and then second, and then third, and then problems, and then it's going to go to the next one. So it's going to be it's going to print it out the list for me. I probably should have put that one above it. And then it's going to say 7 winner chicken dinner. Perfect. Winner, did it actually print out dinner? It probably did, just probably lower. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we're looking at each word here one at a time. All right, so we don't really care about the very first number there. We kind of want to take it and store it off to the side. So let's grab that first value and remove it from our list. So let's say this will be a value is equal to, and I'm going to grab the first value out of our set of data. So we need to get, actually, you know, we probably want to do that here for each data package. So let me grab this and I'll put it right here. So this is grabbing the first data package, and we're going to, for the first data package or the first set of data, we want to say the value of A is the first guy here. So I'm going to say data 0, and we know that's an integer, so I'm going to go ahead and convert this into an integer, because when I first grab it, it's going to be a string. So this grabs the first element and stores it as A's value. All right, and then we want to remove it. I think you can use erase, or I don't know if they have erase. I'm gonna look one up and I'll put it on the screen for you. All right, so what I looked up is W3 Python DEL delete, and here's the example they have for me. So they have a list. They say use delete DEL X and then square bracket 0, and it will remove the first element from the list, which is pretty much what we want to do. So let's go ahead and go and do that. So first we grab the first element and we store it as the value for A, and then we want to remove that element. Let's print this 2 times so we can make sure we're doing it right. So we'll say print data, and this will be before we remove the element. Oops. And this will be after we remove the element, and we'll see that it's missing. So then I'll say let's go to data, or actually we're going to do DEL data square brackets 0. I think that's how they said it. Let's see if it works correctly. We're just trying to remove this 1 or the 7 from our list here. So if I hit run, what did I do? Oh, this one's a capital D, and this one's a capital D. Try again. All right, so you can see that it's at the beginning it had the 1 there, and now we removed it and we stored that value into a value. All right, perfect. So we grab that value, and if I keep pressing enter here, you'll see that it goes through all the words. Then it goes to it should go to the next package of data. There it is. It says 7, winner chicken dinner, and then it removes that 7, and it does the same thing again. So it grabbed that value, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. I was printing data again there. Let me get rid of that. Okay, let me stop. Oh, it's already stopped. I'll hit clear. All right, so we've pulled out the number at the front. We stored it into a value. And then we removed it from the list so it's not in there messing up our word. So we've got 4 word in data. And now we need to go through that word, and we want to grab each letter from the word. So we'll say I'm doing a loop inside of a loop again, so I'm going even further in. So this first loop is loop through the data, or OU, the data packages, through the data packets. Maybe I should say that like that. And then this says loop through each word. And then after that, we need to loop through each letter. So for letter in word, let's start by just printing the letter first. So we'll just say letter. Okay. And then this is going to be loop through each letter. I'll comment this one out. And let's go ahead and run this one time and see what happens. First, F-I-R-S-T. If I press enter, it's going to go to the next one, which is second here. And it's going to print out each letter so I can do something to each letter. All right, so you might be thinking, Mr. Russell, how did you do that? Well, a word is a string first, and you can not only can you find the address in a list by doing 0, 1, 2, 3 like that, but you can also do the same thing with a string. I think you guys should have had some assignments on that, but for my string here, it is also broken up just like this list as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I can also use my for loop to loop through each letter one at a time. So it's grabbing each letter, F-I-R-S-T, and just printing out each one as it goes through each word. So we grab the correct package of data, we go through each word, and then we grab each letter. Now we need to compare the letter's value with our dictionary here. So we want to say, oh, the first letter is an F, but we need to figure out what its value is. Check this out. So what I can do is I can say print, go to my value chart, there it is, and give me the value of the letter that I am looking up. So this says go to the value chart and show me that letter right there. That letter is going to be F. And it's going to print out the value for each one. Here, I'll prove it to you. Oh, well, it's got the letter written right there. So let's say letter, comma, and then I'll say, let's say value. And then I'll leave it like that, and it'll show the letter, and then it'll show those words, and I'll get rid of this, and you'll see it right next to it. And we'll check a couple to see if it worked right. So let's run this. What are we doing here? Value. Oh yeah, I forgot a comma right there. Computers are so picky. Alright, so F, the value of F is 6. Is that correct? I come up here, I look at F. Why, yes it is. Next one, the value of I is 9. There's that. The value of R is 18. The value of S is 19, and then T is 20. Alright, so now we need a way to store each of these values. So I'll say, I'll come up here and I'll make a variable. I'll say word value, and I'll start it out at 0. Now each time I go into this thing and I get this value here, let's store it into word value. So I'll say word value plus equals, and whatever it is in my chart here. So boom. And then after we're done, I want to print out the value of this word. I'll say print, and I'll say the value of, and let's do comma, word is. I like writing my stuff so where you can actually tell what's happening. I know you guys just print like one line at a time, but I want to see all the wonderful magic printed out all at once. Okay, so we're taking the word value, we're finding each letter, so check the chart and see what the value of that letter is. Okay, and I'll comment this one out. I wrote that there for you guys so you can have that. Alright, let's run this one more again. Alright, here we go. Run. The value of first is 72. Now, if I press enter and I go on to the next word, let's think about what's going to happen. It's going to go grab the next word. It's going to go get the next letters. It's going to get them one at a time. It's going to figure out their value, and then it's going to add it to word value. Well, the last time we looked at word value, it was 72. If we never clear this, it's going to just add up the next value. So if I press enter, it added the value of first and second. And if I do it again, it's going to add up the next one. And then lastly, it's going to add up the last one. So there it is. 291. It added up all of those 1, 2, and you don't want to do that. You want to reset your word value for each between each word. So right here, I'm going to put word value, and I'm going to reset its value back to 0. So I'll say reset the value of each word back to 0. Okay. Alright, so let's do this again. So set first was worth 72. That one was correct because it started out at 0, but all the other ones got off because we just kept adding, and that's not great. Alright, let's go ahead and hit stop. We'll hit run. We're going to do this again. 72. I'll run this one. 60. 59. And then lastly, 100. There's our correct problem right there. So it was worth 100 points. If you see that's that last word and they say yes, winner for 1 is supposed to be problems. Okay, so we found that one. So maybe I want to say it right here, if word value is 100, what do we print? Well, we want to print winner. Where is this at? Winner 1 problems. So it wants it in that specific way. So I will say print and I want the word winner. The value of this right here, the 1, that changes with this number here, with our A value. So I'm going to put A value right here. And then I'll put, let's do a plus sign here, and I'll say this is a string because I don't want to actually add, so I want to turn that into a string. I'll say we'll do that. And then we want to put the actual word there, so I'll just say word. Winner, string value, and it's got a colon, and then word. Let's see if that looks like this format when I run it. Problems. Let's see if it works. Stop, clear, run. 72, 60, 59, 100, and then looky there. Winner, 1, problems. That looks right. Now if you keep going with the value of 7, which is going to be the next one, it's not going to be correct for the next one. I don't even know if it's going to find a 100. It might not even find it at all. So it didn't even find it. So neither of those are worth the correct value because we didn't do anything with this A value just yet. So, but the rest of it's working correctly. This, if it equals 100, it's going to print out the winner correctly. It also searches through each one of the letters and compares it to our chart and uses that. So I'm going to comment, let me comment out this one, comment out that one. And now we need to figure out how to change our chart based upon the value of A value. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this chart, I'm going to fix the chart for each one of these letters, and I'm going to consider the number 7 for the next one. So I need to make sure my chart is correct. I'm going to go right here. So after we grab that A value, after we grab the A value and remove it, so I'll go right here. So all the stuff that I'm going to do is right here. So we know all of this stuff down here is working. And I'll call this the get value section. We got that part working. That part down there, good. I don't want to touch it. But we need to set value section. So we'll say this is the set value section. In our set value section, we want to rewrite all of these values for A through Z, and I want to change, like A is going to be 7, B is going to be 8, C is going to be 9, and so on until we get to 26. And when we get to 26, we're going to start back over at 1 and go to the end there. Now, I have an idea of how I'm going to do this. I am going to create the alphabet. Let's say alphabet. We're going to create an alphabet list here. And once again, I'm going to type my list, and I'm going to pause so you don't have to watch me type all this. Be right back. Okay, so I've got this alphabet list here. I'm going to use this list to edit each one of these values up here, starting with A. So I'll say for letter in alphabet. Let's start off by just printing each letter. I always like to do that. Actually I'm going to use L because I think I used letter down here too. I don't want to use it twice. It might not be a problem, but I think I've had that. No, I'll use all capitals or something. I've done this before. Maybe I should just use a capital L. I've done it before where the two variables mess each other up, and it might not be a problem, but I'll just use L, capital L. So let's do print L, and I'll do input so I don't have to keep watching the whole thing, run. So all this is going to do is it's going to go to the alphabet, and it's just going to read each letter one at a time. So there they are all right there. Now, in order to actually change a value in a dictionary, how you do that is you just reference the dictionary. So let me grab this chart here, and I'll say L, that's the letter. So this goes to that spot, and if you just say is equal to, and you put like 1 there, that's going to make all of them, it's going to grab the first letter, go to A, and then put 1 in, and it'll go to B, put 1 in, so it'll make all of them worth 1. Let me do it just this way so you can actually see it. Let me just do print, and then I'll do value chart so you can see the whole chart. So this is going to go grab each letter from the list. It's going to make them all 1. So my dictionary that I have, the value of it is just going to be a bunch of 1s. So you can see A is worth 1, B is worth 1, C is worth 1, D is worth 1, and so on and so forth. So I basically just corrupted my chart. Now, here, I want to start with this A value and then go up by 1 each time. So instead of adding 1, we'll take the, let me store this number. This is going to be, I'll make another one. So let's say counter, I'm making another one, is equal to, I'm just duplicating this A value, right? I don't want to mess with this one. I'm making another one. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, instead of adding 1, add counter. So right now it starts off with 1 because our first set gives us 1. So I'm storing the counter in there, and now I'm still adding just 1. So if I do it one more time, it's going to be the exact same thing, right? So they're all 1 still. But instead of doing just 1, I'm going to say after you set the first one, add 1 to counter. So I'll say counter plus equals 1. So that'll make my list of this correct again, because each time it runs, it's going to add 1. So A will be 1, B will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 26. Perfect. Let me stop printing this L here. Okay, so that's what I want to see for the first one, right? So that 1, if the A value is 1, my chart is also correct. Okay, good. Now what about if the value of my chart is 7? Well, let me come up here and change it to 7. And let me run it again. Think about what do you think is going to happen. I think it's going to go to 7, then it's going to add 1 all the way up to the point to where it gets to 26, and then it's going to restart, or it's not going to restart, and it's going to keep counting all the way up to like 33 or something like that. Let's see what it gets to. 32. So it gets all the way to 32, but we don't want to get that high. Our max should be 26. So I'm going to write a little if statement here. I'll say if counter is 27, which is 1 too high, I'm going to say set counter to 0, or counter to 1. So counter is 1. So this resets our counter. So if counter gets too high, reset back to 1. Okay, so in the event that it's 7, I change that one to 7. Let's see if that fixes her. Run. And there it is. It goes from 7 all the way up to 26, was T is 26, and then it started back over. So U is not 27, U is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have now we've set our chart up correctly. Let me change this one back to 1. So our little chart is now a dynamic chart, I would say. So if they give us a different number, the chart is going to change and it will look correct. I'm going to remove this input here. Actually, I'll comment it out, and I'll comment this out. Now look at this. We have a huge jumbled mess of stuff, but I bet you it works. So let me push stop, and I will clear this. Let me pull this over here. Maybe we can see it better if it's over here on the side. Let's hit run. Let's see if we get 2 printouts. Printer, we have winner problems and winner dinner. Let's go. Alright, so the things you should have learned in this are learn about this dictionary here, and then I don't know, there's lots of stuff to learn here. I just wanted to do this video. I had a lot of you guys asking questions, so I just decided to go ahead and solve it with you and go over it. It was a rather long video, but feel free to watch it again. If you have other questions, ask me. I tried to do as much explaining as I could. It's always good to write down the comments that I write. Basically, just as you're solving these and as you're doing them, give yourself little hints to look at and things to walk yourself through. This method of solving this problem is not the only method. I'm certain that other people will find other methods that are better than mine or worse than mine, but it doesn't really matter. My goal was to have these printouts be correct, and so that was the goal here. I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video, and have a good day.